So now starting with second part of this chapter is 4 R's in waste management. So starting with 4 R's, as we know what is 4 R. First one is reduce, reuse, recycle and recover. So what is reduce? Reduce is to limit the amount of waste you create in the first place. This includes buying products with less packaging. Second one is reuse. Reuse means to use something again that you would normally throw away, for example glass jar for food or plastic bag for bin liner. One person's waste material can be useful material for others. Efforts should therefore be made to encourage collection of such reusable material through waste collector, waste producers, NGOs and private sector, instead of allowing reusable waste to land upon the disposal sites. Bottles, cans, tins, drums and cartons can be reused. Reuse corrugated moving boxes internally. Encourage employees to reuse office materials rather than purchase new ones. Third one is recycle. Recovery of solid waste means recovering materials from solid waste to useful purposes. Composting is a way to return nutrients back into the environment by allowing microorganisms to turn the waste into manure. Recover is the convert waste into resources such as electricity, heat, compost and fuel through thermal and biological means. Resource recovery occur after reduce, reuse and recycle has been attempted. Moving further to the concept of zero waste. Zero waste is the conservation of all resources by means of responsible production, consumption, reuse and recovery of all products, packaging and materials without burning them and without discharges to land, water or air that threaten the environment or human health. Zero waste is the set of principles focused on waste prevention that encourages the redesign of resources like cycles so that all products are reused. The goal is for no trash to be sent to landfill, incinerator or ocean. Currently only 9% of plastic is actually recycled. Zero waste refers to waste prevention as opposed to the end of pipe waste management. It is the whole system approach that aims for a massive change in the way materials flow through society, resulting in no waste. Zero waste encompasses more than eliminating waste through recycling and reuse. It focuses on reconstructing production and distribution system to reduce waste. Zero waste is more of the goal or either rather than a hard target. Zero waste provides guiding principles for continuously working towards eliminating waste. Advocates expect that government regulation is needed to influence industrial choices over product and packaging design, manufacturing process and material selection. Moving further to reuse of waste in construction, the different industrial waste like fly ash, red mud, silica fumes and copper slag have replaced the traditional construction materials, cement and coarse aggregate and sand. These industries waste are valuable byproduct that reduces the environmental pollution. So talking about fly ash, the burning of harder order anthracite and bituminous coal produces class F fly ash. This fly ash is pozzolanic in nature, containing less than 20% lime. Hence, together with Portland cement, quicklime or hydrated lime or water produces cementitious compound. Addition of water glass to it, class F fly ash can form geopolymers. Then class C fly ash, it is produced from burning younger ignite or sub-bituminous coal in presence of water. It hardens and gains strength over time. It is used in making fly ash bricks. Bricks and pavers are used in commercial market. It is used in concrete production as a substitute for Portland cement and sand. It is used in embankments and road construction. It is used for production of grout and flowable fill for crack filter in building. It is used for waste stabilization and solidification. It is used in cement clinker production as a suitable for clay. It is used for land reclamation. It is used for stabilization of soil, soft soil. It is used for road sub-base construction. It is used as a substitute for aggregate in brick production. It is used as a mineral filler in asphaltic concrete. It is used for the production of roller compacted concrete. Second element is slag. Slag is used in making an aggregate having applications in granular base embankments, engineered fill in highways and hot mix asphalt pavement. It is used as a concrete aggregate in construction of bridges. It is used in concrete masonry due to the desirable properties such as lightweight and high fire resistance. It is used as an aggregate with asphalt for construction of dam-proof cores and waterproofing. It is used as insulation in mineral wool, roof aggregate, etc., in railroad ballast, etc. Third one is plastic waste. Plastic bags are popular with consumers and retailers as they are functional, lightweight, strong, cheap, and hygienic way to transport food and other products. Most of these go to landfill and garbage helps after they are used, and some are recycled. Once littered, plastic bags can find their way onto our streets, parks, and into our waterways. Although plastic bags make up only a small percentage of all litter, the impact of these bags is nevertheless significant. Plastic bags create visual pollution problem and can have harmful effect on aquatic and terrestrial animals. Plastic bags are particularly noticeable component that the litter stream due to their size and can take a long time to fully break down. Many carry bags end up as unsightly litter in trees, street, parks, gardens, which besides being ugly can kill birds, small mammals, and other creatures. Bags that make it to the ocean may be eaten by sea turtles and marine mammals who mistake them for jellyfish and disastrous consequence. In developed countries, billion bags are thrown away every year, most of which are used only once in before disposal. The biggest problem with plastic bags is that they do not readily break down in the environment. It has been found that the average plastic carrier bag is used for 5 minutes but takes 500 years to decompose. Reuse is a setup from recycling. It diverts plastic and takes a pressure off the recycling services. In fact, reuse is the middleman between reduce and recycle, and some will be surprised at how many opportunities for reuse there really are. One can reuse plastic produces bags for sandwiches, plastic grocery bags for small trash bags, and reuse plastic silverware. Most people skip this step and go directly to recycling, but reusing plastics can reduce the demand for new plastic to be created. For instance, since refillable plastic containers can be reused for many times, container reuse can lead to a sustainable reduction in the demand for disposable plastic and reduce use of material and energy, which the consequent reduce environmental impact. Recycling and reutilization of waste plastic have several advantages. It leads to a reduction of the use of virgin material and of the use of energy, thus also a reduction of carbon dioxide emissions. Next one is renewable energy sources. Energy. What is renewable energy? Energy which comes from natural resources and is renewable, such as sunlight, wind, rain, tides, and geothermal heat, is known as renewable energy. It is derived from natural processes that are replenished constantly in its various forms. It derives directly from the sun or from heat generated deep within the earth. Included in the definition is electricity and heat generated from solar, wind, ocean, hydropower, biomass, geothermal resources, and biofuels, and hydrogen derived from renewable resources. Today, we primarily use fossil fuels to heat and power our homes and fuel our cars. It is convenient to use coal, oil, and natural gas for meeting our energy needs, but we have a limited supply of this fuel on the earth. We are using them much more rapidly than they are being created. Eventually, they will run out. Hence, we use different sort of renewable energy. Very first one is solar energy. Solar energy is the energy derived from sun through solar radiation. Solar power electrical generation relies on photovoltaic and heat engines. Solar applications include space heating and cooling through solar architecture, daylighting, solar hot water, solar cooking, and high temperature process heat for industrial purposes. Solar technologies tap directly into the infinite power of the sun and use that energy to produce heat, light, and power. Passive solar lighting and heating. People have used the sun to heat and light their homes for the centuries. Ancient Native Americans built their dwelling directly into south-facing cliff walls because they knew sun travels low across the southern sky in the northern hemisphere during winter. They also knew the massive rock of the cliff would absorb heat in winter and protect against the wind and snow. At the same time, the cliff dwelling design blocks sunlight during the summer when the sun is higher in the sky, keeping their dwelling cool. The modern version of this sun welcoming is called passive solar because no pumps, fans, or other mechanical devices are used. Its most basic features include large south-facing windows that fill the home with natural sunlight, the dark tile or brick floors that store the sun heat and release it back into the home at the night. In the summer, when the sun is higher in the sky, window overhang block directly sunlight, which keeps the house cool. Tile and brick floors also remain cool during the summer. Passive solar design combined with energy efficiency will go even further. Sufficient energy efficient features such as energy saving windows and appliances, along with good insulation and weather stripping, can make a huge differences in energy and cost saving. Solar water heating. Solar energy can be used to heat water for your home or your swimming pool. Most solar water heating systems consist of a solar collector and a water storage tank. Solar water heating system use collector generally mounted on the south facing roof to heat either water or a heat transfer fluid such as non-toxic antifreeze. The heated water is then stored in a water tank similar to one used in a conventional gas or electric water heating system. Solar electricity, solar or photovoltaic technology converts sunlight directly into electricity. Solar electricity has been a prime source of power for space vehicles since the inception of the space program. It has also been used to power small electronics and rural agriculture applications for 3 decades. During the last decade, a strong solar electric market has emerged for powering urban grid connected homes and buildings as a result of advances in solar technology, along with global change in electric industry restructuring. Although many types of solar electric systems are available today, they all consist of basically three main items: modulus that convert sunlight into electricity, inverter that convert that electricity into alternating current, so it can used by most household appliances and possibly or sometimes batteries that are stored excess electricity produced by the system. The remainder of the system comprises equipment such as wiring, circuit breakers and support structure, etc. Next one is biomass. Biomass, that is plant material, is a renewable energy source. Through the process of photosynthesis, plants capture the sun's energy. When the plants are burned, they release the sun's energy they contain. In this way, biomass functions as a sort of natural battery for storing solar energy. As long as biomass is produced sustainably with only as much use as is grown, the battery will last indefinitely. Biomass is second to hydropower as a leader in renewable energy production. Biomass has an exciting existing capacity over 7,000 megavolt. Biomass as a fuel consists of organic matter such as industrial waste, agricultural waste, wood and bark. Biomass can be burned directly in specified designed power plants or used to replace up to 15% of coal as a fuel in ordinary power plants. Biomass burns cleaner than coal because it has less sulfur, which means less sulfur dioxide will be emitted into the atmosphere. Biomass can also be used indirectly since it produces methane gas as it decays or through a modern process called gasification. Methane can produce power by burning in a boiler to create steam to drive steam turbines or through internal combustion in gas turbine and reciprocating engines. The largest use of biomass energy in Virginia is the forest products industry. Furniture plants, sawmills and paper mills usually burn their wood to produce heat and electricity. Many homeowners use firewood or pellets for winter heat. Third energy is wind energy. For hundreds of years, people have used windmills to harness the wind energy. Today's wind turbines, which operate differently from windmills, are much more efficient technology. Wind turbine technology may look simple. The wind spins turbine blades around a central hub. The hub is connected to a shaft which power a generator to make electricity. However, turbines are highly sophisticated power systems that capture the wind's energy by means of new blade designs or aerofoils. Modern mechanical derived system combines with advanced generator converts that energy into electricity. Airflows can be used to run wind turbines. Modern wind turbines range from around 600 kilowatt to 5 megawatt of rated power. Though turbines with rated output of 1.5 to 3 megavolt have become the most common for commercial use. The power output of a turbine is a function of the cube of the wind speed. As its wind speed increases, power output increases dramatically. Areas where winds are stronger and more constant, such as offshore and high altitude sites, are preferred location for wind farms. Wind energy is the kinetic energy associated with the movement of atmospheric air which can be harnessed to generate power. It is conversion of wind energy into a useful form of energy such as using wind turbine to make electricity, windmills for mechanical power, wind pumps for water pumping or drainage, or soil to propel ships. A large wind farm may consist of several hundred individual wind turbines which are connected to the power transmission network. Merits of wind energy: it is non-polluting and environment-friendly uses of energy. It is renewable energy available at free of cost. Power generation is cheaper with nil recurring expenses. Windmills are suitable to erect at onshore, remote and rural areas where wind blows with required intensity. Favorable in geographic locations which are away from cities. Here are demerits of wind energy. Manufacturing, installation and maintenance are costly. Wind turbine design, manufacturing, installation is complex due to various atmospheric conditions. Wind power doesn't suitable for large scale generation. A major disadvantage of wind turbines is noise pollution that is created. The next type of energy is ocean wave energy. The ocean can produce two types of energy: thermal energy from the sun's heat and the mechanical energy from the tides and waves. Ocean thermal energy can be used for many applications including electricity generation. Electricity conversion systems use either the warm surface water or boil the sea water to turn the turbine, which activates a generator. The electricity conversion of both tidal and wave energy usually involves mechanical devices. A dam is typically used to convert tidal energy into electricity by forcing the water through turbine, activating a generator. Meanwhile, wave energy uses mechanical power to directly activate a generator or to transfer to a working fluid, water or air, which then drives the turbine or generator. Next one is geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is thermal energy generated and stored in the earth. Thermal energy is the energy that determines the temperature of matter. Earth's geothermal energy originates from the original formation of the planet 20% and from radioactive decay of mineral that is 80%. The geothermal gradient, which is the difference in temperature between the core of the planet and its surface, drives a continuous conduction of thermal energy in the forms of heat from the core to the surface. The adjective geothermal originates from Greek root geo, meaning earth, and thermos means heat. The Earth's core, 4000 miles below the surface, can reach temperatures of 9000 degree Celsius. This heat geothermal energy flows outward from this core, hitting the surrounding area, which can form underground reservoirs or hot water and steam. These reservoirs can be tapped for a variety of uses, such as to generate electricity or heat buildings. By using geothermal heat pumps, we can even take advantage of the shallow ground stable temperature for heating and cooling buildings. Geothermal electricity production. Geothermal power plants access the underground steam or hot water from wells drilled a mile or more into the earth. The steam or hot water is piped up from the well to drive a conventional steam turbine which powers an electric generator. Typically, the water is then returned to the ground to recharge the reservoir and complete the renewable energy cycle. Here are the advantages of geothermal energy: mostly emission and pollution free. Though initial drilling for power plants may be expensive, operation costs are relatively inexpensive. Has the potential to the cheapest and most consistent predictable type of renewable energy. Massive and well distributed resource. It reduces the global warming and the growth of greenhouse gas emission. Baseload resource can produce power 24 hours a day, unlike other renewable energy resources such as solar and wind energy. Disadvantages of geothermal energy is drilling for geothermal energy can be expensive. Rocks could lose heat after a few decades of drilling, and new wells would have to be installed at new sites. The extracted fluid might contain toxic elements such as hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide, mercury, and other elements. This environment impacts can be provided by using a closed system. Could be potentially trigger earthquakes. In Basel, Switzerland, an earthquake occurred near the drilling site Taiga Eni Crisella. Hybrid power system. A hybrid power system or hybrid power usually consists of two or more renewable energy sources used together to provide increased system efficiency as such as greater balance in energy supply. For example, consider load of 100% power supply and there is no renewable system to fulfill this need, so two or more renewable energy system can be combined. For example, 60% of a biomass system, 20% from wind system and the remainder from fuel cells. Thus combining all these renewable energy system may provided 100% of the power and energy requirement for the load such as home or business. Another example of hybrid energy system is photovoltaic array coupled with a wind turbine. This would create more output from the wind turbine during the winter, whereas during the summer the solar panels would produce their peak output. Hybrid energy system often yield greater economic and environmental return than wind, solar, geothermal or tri-generation style dome system by themselves.